Now, we promised you the thoughts of Newcastle manager Eddie Howe. Here he is now.
I know you've spoken at length in recent weeks about Alexander Isak and his situation. As we talk now, what is the latest with him, and has anything changed this week?
No, there's been no change to the situation. All my focus has been on the training, on Aston Villa, on the transfer front in terms of trying to get players in. And you can imagine that that is all-consuming for me. So Alex's situation's been unchanged for a while, and that will continue to be the case, I think.
You've enjoyed a good relationship with him, haven't you, over the 3 years that he's been a Newcastle United player? Given everything that's going on and the difficulties associated with it, do you feel that good understanding is still intact?
Yeah, I've had a great relationship with Alex. I think you need to have that partnership with every player. I take my part of that relationship really, really importantly. I think in the respect that I have to work really closely with the player to his benefit, to try and improve them, to try and help them, to try and educate them, sometimes console them. You know, there's so many different emotions that players go through, and I always want to be there for them in every way. And me and Alex have enjoyed a great relationship. I don't think he'd have done as well as he's done without that, and without his teammates, and without the supporters and the backing of the whole football club. So he recognises that as well. He's a highly intelligent person, and he knows he wouldn't have had the success here without everybody connected with Newcastle. So this is a different moment for him and for us, and we're working through that together.
Last question from me. To what extent do you feel this has had an impact on the other players in their preparations, because they know they're not going to be playing alongside one of the best strikers around and somebody who's been a great teammate for them over the last few seasons?
Certainly early pre-season, I haven't shied away from the fact that was a difficult period for the players, for us, because any change is always difficult to react to. And I think you could see a bit of in some of our early pre-season performances. But I think the players are really strong mentally. They're a really tight group. They've really come together in the latter stages of pre-season. The mood's been good, the spirit's been good, the performances have been better. So although it's not ideal, and we know that, I think the group's reacted really well.
Do you think with what's going on with Alex, and you mentioned a moment ago that the players sort of earlier in the pre-season were affected, do you think in some ways it's maybe brought the rest of the squad closer together?
I think sometimes these things can have that effect. I think we were really, really close anyway. I don't know if I could necessarily sit here and look you in the eye and say it's brought us closer together, but I do think sometimes these things can happen and it can unify you in a way that you didn't know possible. Certainly I think the resolve and the strength of the group is there. They realise that without Alex, everyone's going to have to step up and give more in order for us to get results, because it's not an ideal situation. So I think that's the focus, and that's what we're planning to do.
Have you tried? Have you asked him if he'd play tomorrow?
I think those conversations, I mean, of course, I've said many times during this summer I want him to play, want him to train, and of course I've had those conversations with him, but I think the details of those conversations need to remain private.
And the Isak situation aside, kind of quietly in the background it feels as though, you know, the club are going about their work well. We've seen a number of new players arrive. You mentioned Malik there, and of course Jacob Ramsey here having a medical as well. Are you pleased with the rest of the work that's going on, if you can park the Isak situation? I know that's difficult.
Yeah, I am really pleased. I think it's been a slow burner this summer for us. Initially a lot of frustration because we were trying to be active very early, as I said at the end of last season. The reality of that didn't happen, and that can sometimes be through no one's fault other than circumstance. Then you're trying to turn things in a positive way, not necessarily for you guys, your perception, but for the players internally, for the squad, for what we need. And I think gradually, piece by piece, we've been becoming stronger. It's all about, always for me, about the quality of the player rather than the number coming in. I say that continually, and I feel we've hit that in the right way. I think we've got quality players coming in, players that can make a difference, of the right age profile to take the squad forward into what will be a very challenging season. yes, the top end of the pitch isn't ideal at the moment, but we've got a little bit of time on that still.
On Ramsey, I know you won't want to jinx it because it's not done yet, but he's the sort of guy I think that fits into your ethos here and everything you're trying to do.
I think you're right. I don't want to talk about it too early,
I've
Keith.
given you an idea. Is there any chance of him being involved tomorrow if you get the deal done?
No, I don't think so.
Perfect. Right,
Thank you.
Cheers, Keith. Got Andy?
Morning, Eddie.
Morning.
Can you even begin to give us any insight into just how busy you've been this summer? Like how many phone calls you've been taking a day, anything like that?
Yeah, I think it's just been a constant there in my life during the summer. So whether you're, I think I spoke to Craig a couple of years ago, whether you're on a water park slide, playing tennis with your kids, whatever you're doing, you're sort of, there's something happening, where's my phone, right, okay, and it's that kind of, then you're off, then you're back, and but you get used to that sort of, and that'll be the same for every manager, not for me. You get used to that life where you're sort of, there's a distraction, there's a moment where you have to go away, and then you can come back in again, and it's trying to focus on the people that you're with and not disrespect them. I think is important, but I think it's been that kind of summer for me where there's just been no lull in activity. There's always been something happening.